Hey, what's up everyone, it's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'm going to be doing pretty much my August book haul. There is a lot of books that I gotten in pretty much in August. Some were giveaways. I had one on Twitter, others where I requested books from publishers and they were able to provide me the books that I requested. And I also just received books from publishers that reached out to me, and I told them that, yeah, sure, go ahead, send me some books. Will definitely read them. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I got in August is The Death of Vivian Oke. I'm currently reading it and I'm almost done with this book. This book is amazing. This is the author Akwai Amazi, who also had written had written Pet, that a lot of people have read this year alone. So yeah, I love the cover. It's beautiful. It looks amazing. As you can see, it's a design like a ponytail hair mixed with different colors and everything like that, which is pretty representation of the book, because there's a lot of different cultures within this book as well. That is very amazing and I love it. I'm really enjoying this book. This definitely is a page turner, and it's not really it's definitely a fast read as well, so it's not very long. But if you don't know what it's about, I can definitely read the synopsis for you. And it says, what does it mean for a family to lose a child they never really knew? One afternoon in a town in southeastern Nigeria, a mother opens her front door to discover her son's body, wrapped in colorful fabric at her feet. What follows is the tumultuous, heart-wrenching story of one family's struggle to understand a child whose spirit is both gentle and mysterious. Raised by a distant father and a compassionate but overprotective mother, Vivian Oke suffers disorienting blackouts, moments of disconnection between self and surroundings. As adolescence leads to adulthood, Vivian finds solace in friendships with the warm, boisterous daughters of the Niger wives, foreign-born women married to Nigerian men. But Vivian's closest bond is with Asita, the worldly, high-spirited cousin whose teasing confidence masks a guarded private life. As the relationship deepens and Asita struggles to understand Vivian's escalating crisis, the mystery gives way to a heart-stopping act of violence in a moment of exhilarating freedom. Compulsively readable, teeming with unforgettable characters, The Death of Vivian Oke is a novel of family, friendship, and the self that challenges expectations. A dramatic story of loss and transcendence that will move every reader. So yes, this book is very moving, and it has been moving me. A lot of things, emotional things, has reached to me about this book. I feel like there are some trigger warnings, I feel, for a lot of people. With this book, it not just deals with Vivian Oke. As I said previously, it deals with his friendship and his families and the Niger wives, which are women from different cultures that have married Nigerian men and are trying to be, it's like an organization of trying to be more accustomed to Nigerian customs and all that good stuff. But yeah, so this is one book that I received in August that I'm reading, and it's amazing, so I definitely recommend it. Next book I got from a giveaway from Twitter. And this book is by T.L. Greylock and Bryce O'Connor. It's Shadow of Irie, the God-Forged Chronicles. So I received this from a giveaway off of Twitter, and I was able to get this book. And let me go ahead and read the synopsis for you. This definitely is pretty long book. It has, let me see how many chapters it has. It has 41 chapters, but it's not really that long. I've read a lot longer books than this. But it says an undying king, a relic of ruin, carved bronze and ivory flames, a war for powers only a god could fathom. And it says, in the centuries since rising up against a cruel, twisted dynasty, the seven cities have done much to move past their horrid histories, the memories of ancient monarchs who once fed on the life and blood of their own people. Those with a talent for magic are no longer hounded and slain. The lands beyond the cities are safe, spared the atrocities the Alassians once wrought upon them. For 300 years, there has been peace. Then Esca de Calaval, head of the prestigious Forenzia company, finds herself framed for murder. Soon hunted for the strange bronze disc she most certainly did not steal, Esca is forced to pit both wit and blade against all manner of adversaries who would eagerly see her dead. An assassin in the shadows, a monster in the deep, a rival looking to burn her alive. From sword and fang and flame, Esca must defend herself, struggling all the while to prove her innocence and unravel the mysteries of a dangerous artifact. But But unbeknownst to Eska and her enemies, the cruelest of those tyrants of old is stirring in his grave. So obviously this looks amazing. Like, this book altogether looks amazing, and it sounds amazing on top of it. So like, look at the cover. It's gorgeous. I do like this. I plan on reading this because it does sound something right up my alley that I definitely would read. So I had gotten this from a Twitter giveaway. Next book, I also won this from a Twitter giveaway, and I definitely want to read it. It has my favorite color in it, like in the cover, and the book is just beautiful. And that is The Library of Lost Things by Laura Taylor Namey. I'm sure people have seen this on Twitter. It says she'll read 1,000 happy endings before she finds her own. And I just thought this book sounded very intriguing, and I wanted to read it. Let me know down below if you have read this book, because it sounds amazing. I definitely want to read this. I think I might add this to my September TBR, but I don't know, we'll see. But yes, so look at this. This is gorgeous. I love it. And so let me tell you what this is about. So it says, how could I open that door and let him see the messiest part of me? Darcy Wells has spent her whole life keeping people out of her life, out of her heart, and especially out of the cramped apartment she shares with her hoarder mother. But when the delicate balance of her world is threatened, Darcy is finally forced to look up from the pages of the books she loves, and accept that finding her happily ever after means she needs to stop hiding and start living her own story, even if it's messy. So obviously that has to like rear you in to want to read this book, because it's like, I think as us readers, we expect these, like, the happily ever afters to happen in our lives, but in order to do so, we have to take our away. We have to put our books down and actually go out into the world and do it in order to find our happily ever afters. But yeah, so I thought this book sounded amazing. So I entered the giveaway, and I was so excited that I was able to get it. So yeah, so like I said, the cover is amazing, and I definitely think I'll be adding this to my September TBR. So here's this book. Next book I won this off a Twitter giveaway from the author. Her name is, the author is Rebecca Cavendiffer. I'm not for sure how to pronounce her last name. And it is Crown Chasers. This is the advanced reader's copy. This is coming out September of this year. So yeah, so I like things sci-fi related. I like sci-fi books in general. And so I entered the giveaway. I did not know that I would win, and I was just happy that I was able to get it. But it says they can make the rules, but they can't make her follow them, which is true. There's a lot of rules that we have, but people can't make us do them, right? Even though we have to suffer the consequences if we do break the rules. But yeah, so let me read this back for you. It says, a deadly race across 1,000 planets will determine more than just the fate of the Empire. Alyssa Farshot has spent her whole life trying to outrun her family legacy, even leaving behind the kingship and her uncle, the Emperor, for a life of exploring. But when her dying uncle announces a crown chase, a search for the royal seal hidden in the Empire that will determine the next ruler, Alyssa is thrust into her greatest, most dangerous adventure yet. Perfect for fans of The Hunger Games, Aurora Rising, and Three Dark Crowns, this explosive first book in a duology by a talented debut author is jam-packed with tension and thrills that will hook readers from its first page. So automatically, like, this book, woo, it's something up my alley. I love The Hunger Games. I haven't read Aurora Rising or Three Dark Crowns, but when it just says The Hunger Games, it got my attention. So yeah, so this comes out next month in September, just to let you know. But yeah, I got this. Next book, I had asked the publishers if I could receive this book, and I was happy that they said yes. So it is The Fires of Vengeance by Evan Winter. So if you haven't seen it, all over book 2, people have been reading his first book, The Rage of Dragons, and I loved it so much. I even did pretty much a vlog about the first book, which I will leave up above if you want to see that video after you watch this video, of course. But yeah, so I was so in love with the first book. I really wanted to read the second book, which comes out in November this year. And the cover alone is beautiful, as just like the first book. The cover is beautiful as well. And so like this is dragons related. People say as like the first book, it says Gladiator meets Game of Thrones, which is very accurate, I will say. And also this is located in Africa as well. So it's African story. It's an adult fantasy as well. But yeah, so I really am anxious to get into this. I'm thinking I might read this in October. when it gets closer to its release date, so that pretty much, you know, I can give my full review about it. So if people want it, they can go ahead and pre-order it. But I would go ahead and I would tell you now to pre-order the second book. But before you pre-order this book, go ahead and buy the first book, then pre-order this one. This book will not disappoint you. The first book will not disappoint you, and I'm sure this will not disappoint me, because I'm so excited to finding out about the main character Tao as well, what his journey, what is his next journey, what is his next adventure that he has to pretty much will go through. So yeah, so I reached out to the publisher and they were able to give this to me, and I was just like, yes, thank you so much. But yeah, I even has a map in here too, just like the first book. It has a map of everything, so I'm all for this. I definitely probably will read this in October, the month before it comes out. So yeah, so we have this, but this comes out November the 10th of this year. So I got this. Next book, I got this from my Owl Crate box that I recently unboxed, which I will leave a link up above so you can check that out, and that is Star Daughter by Shavita Thakrar. This is the Owl Crate exclusive edition, so the cover is going to be different from the regular cover, and this also has purple sprayed edges, which is beautiful. I really want to read this so much. It has like Hindu mythology, which I'm all about. It has a lotus flower right there. I'm just all for it. And so for this book, as well, let me just tell you, since it's from Owl Crate, it is signed by the author as well. And for this book, it says here, or what it's about: if the night sky holds many secrets, it holds Chatao's mystery secret the closest. A secret that explains why her hair is the silver of starlight, or why some nights the stars call Chatao by name. Stars like her mother, who returned to her place in the constellation Pushwa years ago. Since that day, Chatao has been forced to hide. But as her 17th birthday draws near, the pull from the sky is growing stronger. So strong that Chatao loses control, and a flare of starfire burns her human father, an injury only a full star's blood can heal. Chatao has no choice but to answer the star song and ascend to the sky, but her celestial family has summoned her for a reason: to act as their human champion in a competition to decide the next ruling house of the heavens. Desperate to save her father, Chatao agrees, but nothing could have prepared Chatao to face the stars' dark history, or the forces that are working to shut the gate between the realms for good. So already this sounds intriguing, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading this, but the cover just looks beautiful anyway. Like, just look at it. It's glistening like a star. But yeah, so I got this. Next book, I had gotten this, and I was able to get this book pretty much with like the swag and everything, which I will leave the video up above because I did an unboxing just for that alone. And that is Ignite the Sun by Hannah C. Howard. It says, rise in the light, defeat the dark. And just look at this cover. It's beautiful. I love it so much. It's just gorgeous, like really gorgeous. And then what it said, and I was able to get this signed by the author as well. But it says here, once upon a time, there was something called the sun. 16-year-old Saria Nightingale has never seen the sun. The light is dangerous, according to Queen Isabel, an evil witch who shrouded the kingdom in shadow. Saria has always hated the darkness and revels in the stories of the light-filled old days that she hears from her best friend and his grandfather. Besides them, nobody else understands her fascination with the sun, especially not her strict and demanding parents. Saria's need to please them is greater even than her fear of the dark. So she heads to the royal city, the very center of the darkness, for a chance at a place in Queen Isabel's court. But what Saria discovers at the choosing ball sends her on a quest towards the last vestige of the sun with a ragtag group of rebels who could help her bring back the light or doom the kingdom to shadow forever. So automatically I was like, yes, this book is something that I definitely want to read. I'm not sure when I'm reading this. I feel like it has something to do with the sun. It's probably going to be probably in November or December, because, you know, during that time, in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, we don't really see the sun. It's nothing but dreary and wintry and dark and gloomy. And I feel like this will definitely be a pick-me-up because it talks about the sun, which we rarely see in Columbus, Ohio during the winter time. They call that the depression time, pretty much, where people become depressed because they don't see the sun. So I definitely think this is more appropriate for that time, just to have a pick-me-up for myself. But here's this book. Next book that I see that I'm definitely going to be reading, I think I'm going to be reading this in September as well, next month, and that is This Is My America by Kim Johnson. This is one of my anticipated reads of this year, and I definitely want to read this for sure. I know a lot of people have already read it, so I need to go ahead and read this in September because I'm just anxious to know what it's about. So yeah, we have this one, and let me tell you what it's about for sure. It says, every week, 17-year-old Tracy Beaumont writes letters to Innocent X, asking the organization to help her father, an innocent black man on death row. After 7 years, Tracy is running out of time. Her dad has 275 days left. Then one night changes everything. The police arrive, pounding on the door, and Tracy's older brother, Jamal, goes from being a bright, promising track star to a thug on the run, accused of killing a white girl. Determined to save her brother, Tracy investigates what really happened between Jamal and Angela down at the Pike. And as Tracy discovers the racist history that haunts her small town's present, she begins to wonder whether she's lighting the torch that will illuminate her family's innocence or lighting the fuse that will cause her world to explode. Kim Johnson's gripping debut is a revelation, an incendiary, crucial look at the American justice system, delivered as an uplifting read full of love, conquering hate, and of justice delivered in the face of injustice. And as you all know, this book is definitely relevant for today, for even this year alone with everything for the Black Lives Matter movement. And as you all know about Jacob Blake and what had happened to him as well, he was shot 7 times in the back by a police officer. And people are justifying him being shot in the back, claiming that he's a rapist and all these other things. And I had literally unfollowed people off of social media due to their ignorance on what they were saying and justifying him of being shot 7 times in the back. No human, whether you're whatever color you are, it does not justify you being shot in the back multiple times. And then on top of that, you're paralyzed. Like, it's crazy. And so, like, the march was today with Al Sharpton, Al Green, Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King III, which is Dr. Martin Luther King's son, pretty much talked in the march today, as well as the only granddaughter of Martin Luther King Jr. She also spoke today. I loved her speech. It was amazing. And that's something, our future that we're looking forward to for our youth to understand what's happening and being aware of what's going on and educating them as well. And so, sorry, my phone was about to die. And so it's just a lot going on. And this as well, you have the NBA pretty much striking. You had not playing due to what's been happening. And I feel like we got to keep going with the Black Lives Matter movement because nothing has changed, obviously. And I feel like in order for a lot of things to change, there has to be a lot of reconstruction with the justice system alone because it's just corrupt. But anyway, this book is definitely relevant for today, and I'm definitely going to be reading this next month in September. Next book that I got pretty much was See No Color by Shannon Gibney. Right here. I definitely think this will be like a quick read for me. I'm not sure, but I think I might actually like it. It's not, it's very a short read. It's maybe like 180 pages, so not bad at all. But it just looks amazing. It says, Black daughter, white father, white mother. Race, adoption, and identity collide in this award-winning debut novel about a teen challenging the life she's always known. It says, praise for See No Color. It's a debut novelist. Gibney offers an unflinching look at the complexities of racial identity. Readers will finish this engaging, layered novel with plenty to think about. So it's just amazing. Then it says, transracial adoption is portrayed with bracing honesty as the messy institution it is, rearranging families, blending cultural and biological DNA, loss and joy, an exceptionally accomplished debut. And that was said by the Kirkus Reviews. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. It's a quick read. I might also read this in September as well. I'm trying to be very strategic in what I read, just so I try to at least get 4 books in a month, but hopefully I can get a little bit more books in. I think I'm going to add this to my September TBR, so look for that video. Then I received this from a Twitter giveaway. This is an ARC. It is Beyond the Ruby Veil by Mara Fitzgerald. So this is not like the actual cover of what the official book is going to look like, but I was able to get this from the giveaway, and so I was really anxious to read this. I think this is something that I'm going to be reading in October. I think it fits the theme and everything of October, Halloweenish type of thing. And it says, Emanuela Ragna always gets what she wants. With her daring mind and socialite schemes, she refuses to be the demure young lady everyone wants her to be. In her most ambitious move yet, she's about to marry Alessandra Moratti, her childhood best friend and the heir to the wealthiest house in Ochia. Emanuela doesn't care that she and her groom are both gay because she doesn't want a love match. She wants power, and through ale, she'll have it all. But Emanuela has a secret that could shatter her plans. In the city of Ochia, the only source of water is the water Cree, a mysterious being who uses magic to make water from blood. When their first bruise-like omen appears on their skin, all Ochians must surrender themselves to the water Cree to be drained of life. Everyone throughout history has given themselves up for the greater good. Everyone except Emanuela. She's kept the tiny omen on her hip out of sight for years. When the water Cree exposes Emanuela during her wedding ceremony and takes her to be sacrificed, Emanuela fights back and kills her. Now Ochia has no one to make their water and no idea how to get more. In a race against time, Emanuela and Ale must travel through the mysterious blood-red veil that surrounds their city to uncover the secrets of the Water Cree's magic and find a way to save their people, no matter what it takes. So this sounds like an October read, you guys. It sounds very interesting of how turning blood from, like, making water from blood. That sounds crazy. Like, that sounds October reads for sure. So I got this, like I said, from a Twitter giveaway, and I won. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this in October. Next book, I had got this from Source Books. They reached out to me and they sent me a box with at least 3 books. One of them was The Girl Who Wasn't There by Penny Joelson. This comes out this year in November. The house across the street is hiding a secret. This also sounds like an October read, but who knows? Yeah, October read, but who knows? I might read it in November since it comes out in November. And it says, I know what I saw. Nothing ever happens on Cassia's street, and Cassia would know. Her illness keeps her home for days at a time, with little to do but watch the world from her bedroom window. So when she witnesses what looks like a kidnapping, she's not sure she can believe her own eyes. So she sets out to find the only other witness, the girl in the window across the street, the girl who was also watching when things went down. But what Cassia discovers shocks her more than the kidnapping itself. There is no girl. So already this sounds intriguing and something I definitely want to read. But I definitely think I'm going to read this in October instead of, I'll read this in November instead of October, because I feel like my October TBR is going to be crazy enough. So we have this one, and I would like to say thank you, Source Books, for these amazing books. And then I also got some finished copies, and so I have this book too from Source Books. It says Prelude for Lost Souls by Helene Dunbar. So we have this. If you haven't heard this book or read this book, please let me know. But the cover looks amazing, of course. I like that. So it says, every town has a story. This town has a ghost story. So this is an October read as well. And it says, in the town of St. Hilaire, most make their living by talking to the dead. In the summer, the gates open to tourists, those who are desperate, those who are curious, those who are skeptical. While all activity is controlled by the guild, a sinister ruling body that sees everything. Dick Hempton has lived in St. Hilaire his entire life, but ever since his parents died, he's been done with it. Done with seances, done with summer tourists, done with St. Hilaire. He knows he has to leave town before the guild has a chance to stop him. His best friend Russ won't be surprised when Deck leaves, but he will be heartbroken. Russ is a good medium, maybe even a great one. He's made sacrifices for his gift and will do whatever it takes to gain entry to the guild, even embracing dark forces and contacting the most elusive ghosts in town. But when the train of Annie Krylova, the piano prodigy whose music has been Deck's main source of solace, breaks down outside the gates, it sets off an unexpected chain of events. In St. Hilaire, there is no such thing as coincidences, and both boys know their lives will never be the same. So even the end pages have skulls in it as well. So like I said, this is an October read. I'm not sure if I'm going to add this to my October TBR, but you'll have to wait and see when that video comes. But I have this. Once again, thank you, Source Books. And then I have a finished copy from Source Book, Wayward Wish by Rosetta Cordova, which I haven't read the first book yet. So I'm going to have to get the first book in order to read this one. But I heard great things about the first book and about this one as well. It says, her fire inside can never be put out. And so this already sounds pretty good. And so it says, one little lie can destroy everything. Rose Mortis has always been a fixer, but lately she's been feeling lost. She has brand new power she doesn't understand, and her family is still trying to figure out how to function in the wake of her amnesiac father's return home. Then on the night of her death day party, Rose discovers her father's memory loss has been a lie. As she rushes to his side, the two are ambushed and pulled through a portal to the land of Adis, the fairy realm. There, Rose is forced to work with a group of other powerful teens to save Adis. Soon, she begins to discover the scope of her powers, the troubling truth about her father's past, and the sacrifices he made to save her sisters. But if Rose wants to return home so she can repair her broken family, she must first figure out how she can heal, or how to heal Adis. So obviously, this sounds amazing, but like I said, I need to read the first book in order to, know what's happening in this one. So we have this. Then I had gotten another book from Amazon. So I know it's a book because I pre-ordered this and it just now came in the mail. And this book came out like a week or two ago. But I think Amazon is backed up pretty much. But I'm just grateful that I got it and got it when I got it, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna open this. That's my dog playing with his toy, if you hear that, growling and whatnot. So I got this, I pre-ordered this, and this is the second book of Mirage. So this is A Court of Lions by Samaya Dodd, which I'm going to be reading in September because I want to know what happens to these two girls, these sisters. Or I feel like I have to remember, I think they're sisters, or maybe not, they just look alike. I don't think they're sisters, because I read the first one, but it's been a while since I read this one. And also, by the way, for the first book, how come the covers don't match? Like, I don't like that. Like, they just changed it up, but it's okay. This cover is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't match with my first book. But it's okay, but it's just beautiful. So it says, A Shadow Rebel, Queenmaker, Samaya Dodd, Court of Lions. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this in September because I want to know what happens next. And it says, on a planet on the brink of revolution, Amani has been forced into isolation. She's been torn from the boy she loves and has given up contact with her fellow rebels to protect her family. And taking risk for the rebel cause, Amani must have lost Miriam's trust forever. But the princess is more complex than she seems, and now Amani is once more subject to her capricious nature. One wrong move could see her executed for high treason. On the eve of Miriam's marriage to Idris comes an unexpected proposal. In exchange for taking her place in the festivities, Miriam will keep Amani's rebel associations a secret. Alone and desperate, Amani is thrust into the center of the court, navigating the dangerous factions on the princess's behalf. But the court is not what she expects. As a risky plan grows in her mind, and with the rebels poised to make their stand, Amani begins to believe her world might have a future. But every choice she makes comes with a cost. Can Amani risk the one she loves the most for a war she's not sure she can win? So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. This is a duology. So this is the second book and the last book. So everything is going to be pretty much concluded, and there's going to be conclusion of this story in this book. So I'm looking forward to reading this. This is going to be a September read, you guys. So look out for that. But yes, that is my August book haul. I'm so sorry about this long video, but I had a lot of books in August, and I'm just glad a lot of them were pretty much free because I am pressed on money right at this time. I think everybody is in the world pretty much due to COVID and unemployment and what have you. But that is it, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed my August book haul and this long video. So I hope I kept you entertained while you were watching this. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much, you guys. See ya.